Hello everyone, Cap here, and welcome back to some more Mechabellum. I absolutely love mass-produced sledgehammers, and I will show you why. Let's get into the match. Starting as area specialist with crawlers and stormcallers, and my opponent is elite marksman with marksman and mustangs. So, kind of already, because my opponent is from the Asia region and they are starting with mustangs and marksmen. I feel like they might go for marksman Vulcan stuff, and mustangs also work with that combo. So, and also marksman positioned left and right of the towers, also super standard positioning. So all of this already telegraphed to me that I feel like my opponent is going for Vulcans. But yeah, so far, round 1, I positioned my Stormcallers in front of my towers and vertically. And that way they are much better at hitting the Mustangs and all that, so round 1 was pretty good for me here. Picking up heavy armor. It's just such a good item, and I was thinking I might go for Vulcans myself here versus the chaff, of course, but also versus the Mustangs. My opponent going for the Rhino drop, putting it at the back of my base here. I have some additional crawlers there that will distract the Rhino for a while at least. And I added some arc lights myself, by the way. Also very good at dealing with the crawlers and with the Mustangs. However, with the Rhino coming in the back, not looking great. Taking out the tower now. Without that Rhino drop, pretty sure I should have won this round again, but yeah, the Rhino coming in, distracting my crawlers for a while, so I didn't really have the chaff in front, but also taking the tower with the tower debuff. Still getting the orange boy though, a lot of XP on my stormcrawlers. Heavy Mustang, I don't like to see that. Heavy Mustang is a really good card. And mass-produced sledgehammers. Yay. I pick it pretty much every time I see it. I really love that card. Because 100 cost sledgehammers, I immediately start viewing the sledgehammers as chaff. So I could buy a pack of sledgehammers, or I could buy a pack of fangs or crawlers, because they are the same cost, right? So in my head now, my sledgehammers are chaff, and really good chaff that can tank some damage and also deal good damage themselves against, for example, Mustangs. So yeah, 100 cost sledgehammers are just so good. You just need to play them a little bit differently, because you can't go into like carry sledgehammers and keep leveling them and give them the attack upgrade or something. That's not really what they are there for anymore, but they are chaff now and they are good trash clear at the same time. My opponent went for more Mustangs. I'm not sure if they picked the heavy Mustang card. They might have. And yeah, I just checked here. My opponent did go heavy Mustangs. So kind of even better that I did go for the mass-produced sledgehammers, because I need more sledgehammers now to deal with those Mustangs. And my opponent also already went for a missile interceptor turret on the right, which made all the difference there, so the orange boy did not die this turn. However, still really close round. Just that one sniper left. Deployment Specialist also so good with mass-produced cards. So I can play 3 Sledgehammers a turn for just 300 credits. That's very good. Unlocking some Phoenixes here. Since I'm aerial, it's free. And I might want that damage to help with the snipers. And maybe also Vulcans in the near future. And I'm going for the armor attack here on the Sledgehammers. So the Mustangs are now completely trash against my Sledgehammers. My Sledgehammers are going to tank all the Mustang shots, and at the same time they are also good at dealing damage to the Mustangs as well. So mass-produced Sledgehammers with the armor attack, so good. And by the way, if my opponent decides to go for Vulcan, armor is also really good against Vulcans. So yeah, I'm just in a really nice position here. I really like this. Obviously the marksmen are still a problem, but feeling good about pretty much everything else. And yeah, my my Sledgehammers, they're tanking all those Mustang shots, just are not going down. And with the Mustangs stuck on my Sledgehammers, actually some crawlers are coming in and taking out the snipers as well. So Mustangs tanking and the Sledgehammers tanking the Mustangs, so the Mustangs can't take out my crawlers, and then the crawlers come in and take out my opponent's marksman. Extended Phoenix range, yeah, I'm picking it up. It's really good against marksman when I'm going for Phoenix, so I'm not at that big of a range disadvantage, because marksmen just have more range than Phoenixes. I'm also considering, or I was considering this match to flank with some Sledgehammers as well. That's usually also a pretty good idea. However, there are some leveled snipers left and right of the towers, and they will lock on to my Sledgehammers pretty quickly and take them out. So I didn't really want to do that this match. And then feed the marksman even more XP. Instead, I'm going for some Stormcallers in the middle and 2 more packs of Phoenixes. I still haven't used my heavy armor, by the way, the item, because yeah, I didn't really want to use it up until this point. I was saving it for a giant, but at this point I'm not even sure anymore if I'm going for a giant. My opponent going for the Vulcan here, doing it after all. Putting down sentries in the middle to take down my Sledgehammers. 1 pack alive though. In the middle, level 2 pack, didn't die to the sentry. Missile interceptor turrets, so good. Basically saving the snipers left and right. Not enough damage on my Phoenix on the right there to take down that leveled sniper. Very unfortunate. Amplifying core, another good giant item, and I'm picking it up. And I'm going for a fortress here to deal with the opponent's Vulcan. And I'm putting the amplifying core on the fortress. And I think about using the heavy armor item now as well. Getting the barrier upgrade on the fortress. Really good against Mustangs and Vulcans. The snipers will take out the barrier somewhat quickly, but at the same time I'm also shielding. My opponent last turn used sentry missiles, and this barrier will shield from sentry missiles in the future. And yeah, I'm getting tired, so I'm just using the heavy armor now on the level 2. On the level 2 sledgehammers. And my opponent is Rhino dropping on top of my level 2 sledgehammers here. And the Rhino dies. And my... Did they all die? I'm not sure. No, something is alive. Some sledgehammer. I think one sledgehammer or something is alive. Because they did have too much health. So when the Rhino... I found out now through comments on one of my previous videos. When a Rhino drops on some units, the Rhino will deal its health in damage to all the units. And if the units have more health than the Rhino, the units will survive and the Rhino is dead. So they basically trade health, kind of. Anyways, my opponent going for even more Marksman now, so now it's basically Marksman spam. With that one Vulcan in the middle, and it's not dying. This was pretty bad. And my opponent also went for more missile interceptors, so my Stormcallers are useless now at this point. I'm wondering if I should have just sold the Stormcallers at this point. Might have been the right call, to be honest. Just sell the Stormcallers and use the additional credits to do something more impactful. Going for the shield drop. My opponent already has 2 bubbles up and it can just put one more bubble in the middle or something, and Storm wouldn't really do much. And at the same time my opponent might pick Storm and I need to shield. Or I need to bubble up. Otherwise they get too much value. And I'm adding some Mustangs. As you might have noticed, I like going for Mustangs. As you might have noticed, I like going for Mustangs against the Vulcan and Marksman combo. Especially once the Mustangs have range. They are pretty good against that. They don't get taken out too quickly by the Vulcans, and then they act as trash clear and chaff later on against the Marksman as well. My opponent did not go for the Storm, after all. My Mustangs helping dealing with the opponent's Mustangs. Cleaning out the trash a bit quicker. So my Phoenixes can start shooting the Vulcans earlier. There's now 2 Vulcans left and right as well. Left one going down, right one is pretty low. And yeah, the snipers are actually stuck on my chaff here, on my sledgehammers. And were stuck on my Mustangs as well for quite some time there. However, it's still, there's so many marksmen. So at this point I'm like, oh crap. My opponent set up the classic Vulcan Marksman combo, and it's just so strong and so hard to deal with later on. But let's try. I'm going for a range on my Mustangs here. and getting 2 more fortresses. So fortresses again to deal with the Vulcans, but also the barrier definitely helps. Already have that tech upgrade, so trying to get some more value out of it. And getting another fortress, so I have 4 fortresses now with the barriers. A lot of barriering going on, that's the word now. And yeah, with the range on the Mustangs also kind of protected by the barriers for a bit probably, so they can actually do quite a bit of work. My opponent bubbling up, leveling their marksman, just doing the classic. Also, because they have 1 pack of fangs, they can use the fang upgrades, and they have the fang spawn on the marksman. So the marksman spawn fangs, and those fangs will then also have the shield upgrade that they just tagged. Yeah, this is also very classic for this type of strategy. Very strong, very standard strategy here. Let's see if my fortresses are enough. Barrier's holding for quite a bit actually, a bit longer than I would have thought. Mustangs somewhat safe for a while, helping deal with the opponent's Mustangs. Opponent's Mustangs also stuck on my fortresses and sledgehammers for a lot. And finally, fortress on the right locking onto the Vulcan, taking down the Vulcan, and on the left Vulcan as well, going down. Middle also going down, fortress was also locked on. And I'm getting through on the right now, tower going down, and left side also tower going down, just 1 sniper left. And this was a complete rollover now. All the barriers and the extra health from all the fortresses was just too much. My opponent couldn't deal with it. It was too much health all at once going onto the board. And the ranged Mustangs helping clear the trash quicker on the opponent's side, so my heavy hitters could lock on to the Vulcans a lot quicker as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.